Sometimes you might be in a conversation with somebody who makes you nervous at work. It could be your boss, it could be an intimidating colleague, it could be a terrifying client. You might have butterflies in your stomach, you might start to sweat, your heart might start racing, you might lose your breath when you're talking to that person. Does this sound familiar to you? When you're nervous in a conversation with somebody, you feel threatened, right? And to cope with this threat, your body automatically puts itself into fight or flight mode. And this is where all of your bodily functions go to the parts of the body that matter the most at that time for fighting and for running, not for cognitive thinking or for communication, which is exactly where you need it if you want to communicate well and confidently to somebody. So this fight or flight response, it makes it very difficult for you to communicate clearly and confidently, especially when you're nervous in a conversation, because you don't have the resources that you need. But there is a solution for you, and I am going to talk about it in this video. We're going to talk about 4 ways you can speak with confidence to people who make you nervous. This video is a bit of a coaching video, so in order to make the most of this video, I ask that you have a piece of paper ready so you can take some notes. And I've also included in this video 3 bonus tips for you, so 3 more in addition to the 4 that I'm going to tell you about. So these tips will be placed at various points throughout the video, so make sure you watch the whole video so you can catch them. We're going to start with a little coaching exercise here, and I want you to think about why that person makes you nervous. Obviously, you've identified who that person is. Now I want you to think about why they make you nervous. Is it because they're more experienced? Maybe they're more qualified? Maybe they are older than you? Maybe they have the reputation of being somebody who's difficult to deal with? Maybe you have previous experience in dealing with that person that was negative. There could be a multitude of reasons as to why you get nervous when you communicate to this particular person. I want you to really think about it, try and identify it, and write it down on your piece of paper in as much detail as possible. The point of this exercise is threefold, really. The first point is to help you understand that it might not be as bad as you think. Sometimes we think that some people are really intimidating and much more intimidating than what they actually are. The second thing it does is it helps you make it real. It helps you identify what is holding you back. It helps you put a name on it, and quite often when we put a name on something, it really doesn't seem as bad. The third thing it does is it helps you know what you are dealing with, and this will allow you to better prepare for that situation and that conversation in the future. For difficult or stressful conversations, you really need to uncover what is holding you back, what is blocking you, so you can start to work through that and overcome that hurdle. Going into a conversation with somebody who makes you nervous without preparing is asking for failure. Why do I say that? Well, the simple act of preparing helps to make you feel more confident. Imagine going to present in front of 100 people on stage without any preparation at all. You would not feel confident, you would not feel prepared, and you probably wouldn't do a good job. Why do musicians, actors, sports people prepare and rehearse before their performance? Because it helps them to perfect their performance, but also to feel confident about it. Preparation breeds confidence. So if you want to feel confident about talking to somebody who makes you nervous, then you really need to prepare for that conversation. Confidence is absolutely something that you have to work on. We are not born confident. Now, I will admit there are some people in this world who just naturally seem to exude confidence in any situation, no matter how challenging it is. But these people are rare. There's only a few of them in the world. The rest of us have to prepare and build and work on our confidence in order to build it. So how do you prepare for a conversation with somebody who makes you nervous? Well, on your coaching worksheet, I want you to use this, and I want you to write down 1 to 2 main points that you want to talk about with that person in that conversation. Under those 1 to 2 main points, you can write 1 to 3 additional points or sub-points that you want to elaborate on or that will back up your main point. Using this bullet point system on your notes will help you prepare for that conversation mentally. You can also rehearse for that conversation, and this is something that I do and it works really well. Rehearse on your own that is totally fine. Or you can find a friend or a colleague that you trust and rehearse the conversation with them. Practice what you want to say, practice it out loud. That will help to cement it in your mind, and as a result, you will become more confident when you're in that actual conversation. This is a technique that I've used when I've had to have assertive conversations with people. They make me quite stressed and they make me quite nervous. But I found that by planning them, writing a bullet point list, and actually practicing and rehearsing it beforehand, it makes me feel a lot calmer, it makes me feel a lot more confident, and it helps me to remember everything that I want to say to that person. Next, you need to have that conversation. And I'm going to be honest with you here, there's really no easy way around this. It's like ripping off a band-aid, you just have to do it. Yes, you might have your heart racing, you might start sweating, you might lose your breath during the conversation, but obviously it's a conversation that is really important to you. Maybe your career depends on it, maybe your self-worth depends on it. And one of the questions I often ask myself before a difficult or a stressful conversation, and it's something that really pushes me to actually have that conversation and to be confident in it, is what is more painful for you? So think about that. What is more painful for you? To not have the conversation and let life go on as is, or to find the courage to have that conversation and to fix what needs to be fixed? Which is more painful for you? Write it down on your piece of paper that you have in front of you, and I hope that this question will push you to have that conversation you need to have, just like it pushes me to do it. And your bonus tip number 1 is to go into that conversation bold. Go into that conversation thinking you are intelligent, you are credible, you are valuable, you are worthy. I want you to remove any self-doubt that you have, whether it's that you're not intelligent enough, that you're not experienced enough, that you're not old enough to have this conversation. Remove any self-doubt, and also remove the need for approval from people. You are not going into that conversation looking for approval. Remember, you are valuable, you deserve respect. I want you to own that conversation. Your work doesn't stop once you have had that conversation. Afterwards, I want you to reflect on that conversation, and I want you to think about what you did really well during that conversation, what you're proud of, and what you can improve on for the future. So on your piece of paper, list 3 things that you are proud of during that conversation, 3 things that you did really well, and 3 things that you didn't do so well on, but you can improve on for the next time. When you do this for every difficult or stressful conversation that you have, it will help to train your brain, and you will train yourself to be confident more and more for every future conversation. This activity is a mini version of what I do with my students in the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass. If you want to check out that course, find out what it is about, then I will put a discount link in the description below. The second bonus tip you're probably waiting for is to use confident body language. Now, confident body language is extremely important in any kind of conversation, especially when you're nervous, especially when you're stressed. You can't expect people to see you as confident if you're looking to the ground, if you're slouching, or if you're taking up as little space as possible. So I want you to expand your presence, expand your posture, take up more space, and change your physical stance to trigger a change in your mental stance. The last bonus tip is to be careful of passive language giveaways. So what do I mean by passive language giveaways? Well, things like, I don't mean to bother you, but, or I wonder if this could be a good idea, or I'm not sure, what do you think? These are all passive language giveaways, and they don't make you sound confident, they don't make you sound assertive, and they don't make you sound sure of yourself in that conversation. So avoiding passive language giveaways is really, really important if you want to come across to the other person as confident in that conversation. I truly hope this video will help you the next time you're facing a conversation with somebody who makes you nervous. As always, if you're a loyal subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, then make sure you subscribe by hitting the button below this video. Every week I share videos to help you on your leadership journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back next week.